Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Today is Tuesday. Hopefully you guys have been having a good start to the weekend. Hopefully you had a good start to the week, sorry. Hopefully you had a good weekend. And, you're here, you're enjoying another episode. We have a juicy thread for you. Oh, baby, I am so ready to bite into this juicy thread. Today's thread is, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? Oh, shitney. Here we go. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's get on into it. Okay, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? They keep mentioning their ex. Yeah, bro. Just tell me you're not into me, man. Just tell me you're not into me. Like, bro, the fuck are we doing here? Like, if they're talking about their ex the entire date, yeah, you're not into me. It is what it is. I'm going to go home, man. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's just some crazy shit. Like, why are you even out? You know? Crazy work. All right. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? They casually mention their 5-year prison stint for cyber stalking after violating a strict restraining order, but claim they were misunderstood. It happened to a friend of a friend. Bruh, what? They're just like, oh yeah, so like, I'm just on a 5-year, prison stint, you know what I mean? Nothing crazy or anything. Like, nigga, what? What you talking about? What do you mean? 5-year prison stint, nigga, what? And then you got a restraining order, bro? Nah, that's crazy. That's some crazy. Imagine hearing that on a first date, bruh. I'd be running immediately. I'd be like, a 5-year what now? Oh yeah, no, I'd be like,
what did he say?
Gone. I'd be like, this was not fun. This has been a waste of my time. I hope to never see you ever again. Goodbye. Like, bruh, that's crazy. All right, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? I once had a blind date reach down her pants and pull out a turd.
Bruh.
What? That was the second worst date that year, bro. What? So she dookied, she doo-dooed her panties, stuck her hand in there and was just like, oh shit, not again. Bro, no. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy on her soul, bruh. Oh my God. That is crazy. She pulled a dookie out of her panties, man. And then was like, oh, man, not again. Bro, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. First off, I ain't touching her hand or even touching her. All right, I ain't even going near that bitch. No, thank you. You got mud butt like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? First off. Second off, girl, this date is done and I want it to be done as fast as possible. Oh my Lord. Woo! Hey. Yeah, man. Nah. All right, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? They're having more eye contact with their phone than having eye contact with you. Facts. It's funny because I was actually out with some friends a couple days ago and or about a week ago, and I was talking to them just kind of like about dating experiences and stuff like that, and there was a thing that like my dad always told me, and he was just like, after opening the car door for a girl, you know what I mean, notice like how she is in the car by herself, because it'll kind of tell you it'll gauge the bit of interest that she has in you. If she gets in the car and she's just immediately on her phone, she ain't interested in you. Reason being is because she either is on a date with you because, she's trying to make some other dude jealous, or she's on a date with you because she's bored, or she's trying to get a free meal, whatever it may be. She just ain't interested. Why? Because she goes straight for her phone. Now, if she gets into the car and she's more of just either, the old school thing where they would open the door for you, or it's a thing where they're kind of just sitting there and they're like waiting for you. You know what I mean? They're just so engaged in the date. It's like, those are such good signs. But yeah, man, and that's how early you can tell that a girl's really just not interested in you, is that when you open the car door for her, she gets in the car, you close that door and you walk around and you look into the car and you see that she's just immediately on her phone. That right there for me is already strike one. That is just, it's already strike one. It's like, okay, cool. We've already gotten strike one out the way. Let's see what else happens on this fucking date. You know what I mean? I'm a 3-strike, kind of person. I look at it like, you really got 3 fuck ups on the first date to really get me to go out the way. But I mean, don't get me wrong, pulling doo-doo out of your pants, I think that's all 3 strikes right then and there. But I'm just saying, or even going to jail like the previous one there, you know what I mean? Going to jail, yeah, that's all 3 strikes right there. I think the federal system gave you 3 strikes already. Like, I don't need to give you 3 more. Like, fuck out of here with that. But yeah, so 100%. Okay, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? He said he'd take me out to eat, but instead he took me to hang out with his friends. There was no food, and he didn't even give me any water. Aw, bruh, that's gotta be the worst, man. Is like a dude pretty much just giving you the bamboozle, he's just like, yeah, we can go out and we'll hang out and this and that, and then taking you out to hang out with his friends. Like that, at that point, it's not even a date. Like you're just kind of hanging out at that point. That's just weird. Like, if I start dating somebody, they're not really going to meet my friends until at least we're like an official couple. You're not going to meet my friends when we're just talking. You're not going to meet my friends on a first date. You're not going to meet my friends even on a second or third date. Like, you're going to meet my friends when we're like officially together. You're officially my girlfriend. That's a little weird that he like brought you to meet his friends. I think it was a situation where, I think he was kind of lying about some shit. Was just like, oh yeah, that's my girl and this and that, blah, 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 and then brought you around. I don't know. But yeah, giving the old bamboozle was like, come on, man. Okay, you're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? Ever had someone cut you off mid-convo and say, anyways? Biggest red flag ever, bro? Yes! Oh my. Woo! Story time. Okay. I remember that I went out on a date with a girl, right? And she was the most insufferable person to talk to. It was one of those things where, like, I don't mind talkative girls, okay? I don't mind talkative women. I actually love it when I'm able to kind of just ask a girl a question, and she just really gets into the topic, or she's really passionate about something and she's just talking. I love that. And I can listen, ask some follow-up questions, and we're just, we're vibing, we're moving, grooving, doing our thing, right? It was just like that. And it was nice, and I was like, oh man, she's really talkative, she's cute, this and that, whatever the case may be. And there was a lot of times where I would go to ask her follow-up questions, and she would just cut me off with the randomest shit, and I'm like, and then we would both stop talking because she cut me off, so I stopped talking, and then she would stop talking for some reason, and I'm like, and then she would go, anyways, and then just start talking about whatever random bullshit she was talking about, and I'm like, okay, like, why is it that? And then she would cut me off, and I'm just like, okay. And then we would do that thing again. I stopped talking, she stops talking, and then she's like, anyways, and then goes right back. I'm like, all right, bro. Sure. And then she, got to pretty much like over analyzing me and just being like, oh my God, are you like super annoyed that I'm like talking a whole bunch? Because I thought you kind of liked, when a girl talked a lot. So that's why I'm like talking a lot. And I was just like, yeah, I don't mind you talking a lot. It's just the fact that you'll cut me off and then we'll stop talking. And then you just go on about something that I don't even know what you're talking about at this point. So that's kind of what threw me off a little bit. And she was like, oh, okay, well then like ask me the question. And then I would ask her the question, and then she would, I don't know if she didn't hear the question or if she wasn't paying attention or something, or maybe I needed to repeat it. I don't know. But then she would just go, anyways, back to what I was saying. And I'm like,
Bruh.
okay. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I was just like, maybe she's nervous. Maybe, she's trying to be like appealing to me. Maybe, she's trying to be interesting. I have no idea what it was. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, needless to say, I went out on one other date with her and I was like, okay, all right. The nerves excuse, you don't get that one anymore. The whole, maybe she's trying to do this and that. Nah, I gave up. I was like, I'm good. I'm fucking good. I'm done on that shit. Yeah, bro. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? You see a news alert on the TV behind your date explaining that your date is still at large and the manhunt is underway. Yeah. What? Bro, imagine if you were just out on a date with a fugitive like that. That would be crazy. I definitely would have just be under the table like 911, like, bruh. Oh, and I would, that I'd be on the phone with the operator and be like, oh, wow. This restaurant off of this street is great. Yes. I'm glad that there aren't any FBI fugitives here at this restaurant at this location. Right? Don't you agree? Yeah, bro. Yeah, nah. That would be some crazy shit. All right. Okay. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? I should really use an alt for this one. Okay, it happened a few weeks ago. Girl was stoned beyond comprehension, before I got there. She had to use the bathroom and asked if I could hold her hand while she peed so she wouldn't fall off the toilet. Then she lit up a cigarette mid-piss without hesitation. There was no second date. Sweet girl, but not my area of expertise. Yeah. If I'm being honest with you, man, like a lot of the girls that I've dated, they were like heavy weed smokers and heavy smokers and stuff like that, or they just did drugs in general. And if I'm being honest with you, I tried to give that stuff a pass, and I tried to be like, oh yeah, it is what it is. Everybody smokes weed, like it's legal, and people are doing it. It is what it is. Like I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. I just think it's a waste of time and a waste of money. And so it's one of those things where I just, I tried to give it a pass, but honestly, the more girls I talked to and the more, girls that I kind of like interacted with that did that stuff, like, don't get me wrong, bro. Some girls, they're like, oh, I need it all the time. They're like, I need to smoke 4 or 5 times a day. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck, man? Like, you literally have nothing better to do than to just get high all day. You have nothing better to do than just constantly, you know what I mean? Like, damn, you want to suck on something so bad. Damn, I got you right here, baby. You know what I mean? Like, shit. I'm just saying, it's like, it's crazy to me that, girls that are just that hooked on drugs and that hooked on some. It's just, it becomes their life, and that shit is just extremely unattractive. Extremely unattractive. So yeah, man, I can't do it with girls with drugs anymore. I gotta date a girl who's just like a fucking square, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink, none of that shit. Like that's what I gotta do, because it's one of those things where I've tried to, give them passes, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Those girls are crazy. They love weed more than they love you, bro. Man. All right. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? Spouse comes in and demands to know what is going on. Oh. Imagine being on a first date with somebody, and out of nowhere, their husband or wife is just like, what's going on here? What's going on? You guys having a little food? You guys having a little lunch? You're doing your little thing. What's going on here? Bro, I would have secondhand embarrassment. I'd be like, I'm with them. What is going on here? Shoot. Because I ain't going to lie to you. I've always said it on the show multiple times. I ain't dying over some coochie. All right. So if bitch out here, playing single and shit, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed, because I'm like, this man, could, probably be in his crazy mind of trying to kill me, over a girl. Like, nah, bro, because that's why I would look him dead in his eye and be like, facts, fam. What is this? What is this? Because I didn't know you existed, my G. You know what I mean? Honestly, I would just be like, hey, so, look, man, go ahead and take my seat. You know what I mean? I'm going to settle up the bill, and then I'm about to skedaddle. I'm about to be up out of here. You know what I mean? I've told this story before on the podcast, but I've dealt with this kind of situation before. And there was this girl that worked with my mom, and my mom was like, oh, you're single, my son's single, you guys should go on a date, this and that, whatever. And so this girl ended up hitting me up, because my mom gave her my number. She ends up hitting me up. We end up texting, talking for a little bit. And then I asked her out on a date. I was like, hey, let's do a little breakfast, like cute little breakfast date, whatever the case may be, right? I pick her up. And she's like taking pictures of like us and stuff. And I thought that was kind of cute. I didn't think anything of it. She's in the passenger seat, and she's kind of like taking pictures. I'm like on this side. And so she's taking pictures of like us and shit. And I thought it was cute. Didn't think anything of it. We get to the little breakfast spot. I think we went to IHOP. We had our breakfast. Everything was good. Everything was chilling. She was taking pictures of her food and stuff. And, it was cool. Everything was straight. And I did not know the whole time she was posting all of this stuff on Snapchat. Guess who was on her Snapchat? Her ex-boyfriend. Now, I didn't know that the ex-boyfriend is like a fresh ex. I'm talking like they broke up 2-3 days ago. So the entire time that we were texting and talking, they were still together. And then they broke up, and then that's when she decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on a date with this nigga or whatever. And so we're done. I pay for the the food or whatever, and then we're leaving, and we're on our way back to my car. And out of nowhere, there's this dude standing by my car, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? How he knew it was my car, I don't know. I have no idea how he knew it was my car. I don't know what was going on, but he knew where we were, because I'm assuming, according to him, he had her location. Okay. So he had her location, and according to him, that's how he knew where we were, all that shit. And so he's like, yo, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Like, yo, what the fuck, dog? And I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? Like, why are you so upset? You know what I mean? And he's like, what the fuck you mean, man? You out with my girl and this and that. I'm like, out with your girl? Hold up. Wait. I'm like, you're not single? And she's like, I am single. And he was like, the fuck you not? Like, what the fuck we talking about? And I'm like, hold on. She told me she was single, my G. We had been talking for like the past 2 months, and he was like, 2 months? And I'm like, oh, Lord, wait, were y'all not broken up at that time? He was like, my guy, she told me that she wanted to split up like 2 days ago. And I was like, so you did have a man? She's like, no, I did not. I was single. And I'm like, all right, look, my G, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drop her ass off at home. If you want to follow me and then you can talk to her then, you can talk to her then, but that's on you. But I'm going to drop her off at home like I was planning to do, and then I'm going to just get the fuck up out this situation. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, bro, I'm sorry, man. I feel bad for this shit. And I was like, look, bro, I didn't know. You didn't know. Obviously, she playing us both, so I'm going to just drop her off. And y'all figure that shit out. I drop her off. That girl ran to her door. She fucking ran to her door. Why? Because homeboy was right behind us the whole way. Turn for turn. Mind you, we didn't say shit to each other in the car. You know what I mean? I opened the door for her. She got in the car. I closed the door. I got in the car. Turned it on. You know, and I even waited for a little bit. I waited for homeboy to get in his car because I could see him in my rearview mirror. So I waited for him to get in his car because I was like, oh, yeah, bitch getting her comeuppance. The fuck are we talking about? Yeah. No. She want to be out here being a little floozy? Nah, I'm going to make sure a nigga following us. You know what I mean? He followed us turn for turn, and she wasn't on her phone. She wasn't doing nothing. You could tell she was just like, oh, shit, I got caught. And so then I pulled up to her house. She got out the car. I didn't say nothing to her. She didn't say nothing to me. That girl ran to her fucking house. She ran to her house, and homeboy was like, hey, where you going? I drove off, bro. All I heard was, hey, what'd you do? I ran off. I was gone. I said, pew, goodbye, because I did not want to see the domestic violence that was about to happen in front of that house. Hell nah. Not me, Jesus. Not me. I said, no, thank you, and I drove off. Bruh, I'm telling you, that is probably the worst position to be in on a first date. Oh, my God. Yeah, man. Oh, shit. Okay. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? Had a girl say her ex and entire friend and family blocked her. Boy, was that a red flag I completely missed. I soon learned why the hard way. Why the hard way has, okay? Why they blocked her. Y'all niggas need to fucking double check y'all shit, man. Honestly, though, if I was out on a date and she was complaining that all her friends and family blocked her, I would be like, I wonder why. See, this nigga was Curious George, and he wanted to figure it out. You know what I mean? Homeboy wanted to figure it out, and he wanted to figure out the hard way. Stupid. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? He wanted to figure that shit out the hard way. That's what you get for being Curious George, though. You know what I mean? Stupid, bro. Absolutely stupid. Yeah, no, I would have seen that, and I'd have just been like, nope. No, thank you. I ain't dealing with that. Because if everybody is blocking you, I think you're the problem. You know what I mean? Like, that isn't that mathing, checking out, you know? I'm just saying. Like, damn. All right. I'm going to do 2 more and then we'll end it. Okay. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? When he doesn't treat other people kindly and with respect. Yeah, facts. 'Cause there's a lot of dudes, man. They go on dates and they try to be macho man and all that shit. And, you know, they just come off douchey. You know what I mean? And it's just like, bro, you don't have to be like an asshole and all this shit to the staff and, you know, try to be a tough guy and all that stuff. Like, honestly, you just being a good dude, that's honestly manly enough. A lot of women will kind of gravitate more towards you just being a good dude to everybody, and kind of being that guy that's more admired than being infamous. A lot of dudes think that being infamous is a good thing, and it's like not necessarily. You want to be more admired than you want to be infamous. It works for some guys, but it ain't gonna work for all of them. And I would say it only works for the minority being infamous. All right, this is going to be our last one. You're on a date. What is the worst red flag imaginable? Immediately proceeds to tell me that vaccines are bad. That or begins to tell me the only true purpose of a woman is making his babies. I've been on both of these dates. Yo, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy, bro. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to just let people get they shit off, have their opinions, and you just leave them to their own devices, man. You just be like, you know what? That's fantastic for you. I'm glad that you think that. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, some people just be having some crazy ass takes, and you gotta just let them do their thing. There ain't no change in those people's mind. There isn't. Those people are always going to be the same way. They're always going to think that way. And you just kind of have to be like, you do that. You do that, my guy. You have fun with that one. All right. I ain't going to lie to you. There's a lot of people at my job that are kind of like that too. My boss is like that. Yeah, and I just kind of look at them and I'm just like, go ahead, man. You do you, brother. You do you, man, because I ain't going to change his mind. You know what I mean? I ain't going to change his mind. I can talk to him till he's blue in the face. I ain't going to change nothing. Yeah, those kind of people, you kind of just got to let them get their shit off and just move on. All right, but that's going to go ahead and be that thread. That was a really good thread. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you guys have had a situation where you've gone on a date and just instant red flag, definitely let me know down in the comments, all right? I shared my red flag story with you. And hopefully you guys share one with me, okay? Let's hop on through announcements, and then we'll get right on to today's scenarios for today's show. So patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show, all right? Like these lovely people did for today. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are the real goats, coming out every single week, hanging out with your boy, downloading the episodes, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for all of the support. I appreciate you so very much. If you want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that helps out tremendously. Thank you so much. And without further ado, let's get on into today's scenarios. All right, we got our first one. Am I overreacting for breaking up with my boyfriend because he went to a strip club, then lied about it? All right. Me, 23 female, now ex-boyfriend, 29 male, went out on a bar crawl for his friend's birthday last week. He was texting me throughout the night. Then he suddenly stopped. My messages stopped sending, and his location would not update. Conveniently, his last known location was at a strip club. He was radio silent for over an hour, and suddenly he reappeared again. Still at a strip club. I asked him if he was there, but he denied it. After some back and forth, he stopped talking to me for the rest of the night. The next day, he eventually confessed, but promised that he was just sat at the bar with his other friend, while his single friends had fun. I told him it was completely unacceptable to go there without discussing it first, but to then lie about it was out of the order, and broke our trust. And all he could argue was that his friend's girlfriend was completely understanding, so he thought I would be too, and I should chill out, so I broke up with him. Did I overreact? I think you overreact at him going to a strip club, because if I'm being honest with you, who the fuck cares? Strip clubs are trash anyway. Like, ladies, if your guy goes to a strip club, trust me, all he did was get his dick hard with a bunch of dudes. All right, let's be honest here. Nothing fucking happens at strip clubs. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. You literally walk around with a hard dick with a bunch of dudes. Okay, it is not what you think it is. Okay, the fact that he lied, I think that's where it was wrong. He shouldn't have lied to you. That's fucked up. It's like, bro, she knew you were there. So why the fuck are you lying? You knew that she knew that she knew that you knew that you were at a strip club. Like, why would you sit there and be like, no, I didn't go to a strip club. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You know, and it's like, bro, she already knows. And you already know that she knows. So why the fuck would you lie? So I don't think you overreacted in that because, you know, there's no acceptable, you know, reason to lie to your significant other. But where you overreacted is that he went to a strip club. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because, again, strip clubs are trash. I've only gone to a strip club twice, okay? My very first time I went to a strip club, we had sat at one of the little booths or whatever, and I ordered fucking strip club spaghetti, bombest spaghetti I'd ever had. I ain't gonna lie to you. I talk about it to this day. I had some strip club spaghetti and sat there and just looked at people walk around all day. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was mad boring. Fucking mad boring. Second time I went, they were like, oh, you know, it's because you just sat there eating spaghetti the whole time. And I was like, all right, whatever. Tell me what I got to do. Went, they were like, oh, we're going to get you a lap dance. I was like, okay, sure. They paid this girl like $50. She gave me a lap dance. It was what it was. And then I was like, cool. My dick is hard. I'm surrounded by dudes. What else? You know what I mean? Like, dude, it was trash. I was like, they were like, oh, yeah, did you like it? And I was like, it was cool. You know, she was attractive. She was super hot. My dick is hard, but I can't do nothing with it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, what's the point? I might as well be at home. You know what I mean? I might as well be at home getting my dick hard and stroking my shit. Like, what the fuck? It was trash, bro. So, again, ladies, if your dude goes to a strip club, he's having one of two experiences. One, he's there and either just, you know, having a drink or eating food, or he's getting he's getting a lap dance and his dick is hard and he can't do nothing with it. Okay? Like, trust me. It ain't as glorious or as crazy as women think it is. Women think like dudes are going to the strip club and bitches are hanging off the rafters and, you know, motherfuckers is eating coochie and doing all this and fucking bitches. Nah, bro, it's not. It's really not. The girls don't even want to be near you, nigga. Like, if I'm being honest with you, she was giving me a lap dance, but she was like 5 feet away from me. And I'm just like, all right, I guess so. You know, like, bruh. And then a lot of clubs, there's no touching. There's a lot of clubs where, you know, it's one of those things where you don't even like hand money to her, or you can't even like put money in her G-string or nothing like that. Nah, you can't do none of that. You have to like put money on a table, or you put money down somewhere and then they pick it up. Like, it's not what you think it is. All right? 1000%, just trust me on that. It's not what you think it is. Okay, and that's why I think you overreacted as far as he just went to a strip club. Because I'm telling you, he didn't have as fun of a time as you thought he did. All right, let's be honest. Okay, but I understand that him lying, big thing, 1000%. I think if you felt the fact that him lying was enough for you to break up with him, hey, totally justified. Okay, totally justified. But as far as the strip club thing, look, man. Tell him to get the spaghetti and just leave. You know what I mean? Get the strip club spaghetti and just leave, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. All right, you guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments. On to our next one. Me over a transgender female? I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but your boyfriend's gay. All right, let's just be honest here. Your boyfriend's gay, bro. Like, you know, like, come on, bro. Your boyfriend's gay. Let's call a spade on this one. All right, here we go. I, 19 female, never thought I'd find myself in this situation, but there I was scrolling through my phone when I saw it. Him, 27 male, sexting with a transgender woman. My chest tightened, my and my hands started shaking. The messages were intimate, explicit, and filled with things he used to say only to me. I felt a mix of anger, heartbreak, and disbelief. All those moments I trusted him, all those promises, it felt like they had been meaningless. When I finally confronted him, my voice trembling, I said, "Why are you doing this? Why her?" He looked at me with a strange mix of guilt and detachment. And then he said, I wanted to feel like a woman. I wanted to feel a woman, but the transgender, it's different. I don't know. It makes me feel something I'm missing. Yeah, bro is gay. He is gay. It ain't you, baby. It ain't you, baby girl. He's gay. I think he's always been gay. I think it was one of those things where Mans has just been in the closet for so long that he decided, you know what? I'm going to walk out this motherfucking closet and I'm going to be happy about it. And I only think that he's dating a transgender woman so that way he kind of gets the best of both worlds, because it's a thing where in public it looks like he's in a straight relationship, but obviously behind closed doors, he's actually in a gay relationship like he wants to be. You see what I mean? So he's kind of like getting the cloak and dagger all at the same time. No pun intended. You know what I mean? But he getting stabbed all right. You know what I mean? Like, you know? Bro getting stabbed all right. His words hit me like a punch. I felt betrayed and confused. He wasn't just cheating. He was seeking validation and pleasure elsewhere. Using her to feel something he claimed he couldn't feel with me. Yeah, I don't think that's a her. That's a him, but okay. Part of me wanted to cry. Part of me wanted to scream. I realized then that sometimes no matter how much you give, someone will look for what they think they're missing outside of the relationship. I walked away that night with a heavy heart, knowing that trust had been broken and that the person I thought I knew had a side I could never reach. Yeah, and look, sometimes I want to say I talked about this in the Patreon episode for last week. It's one of those things where sometimes you got to just let people go. You know what I mean? Like the guy was in a gay relationship and they had been married for a while, and then his husband cheated on him, and then he wanted to be with the guy that he cheated on him with, and he was like, I begged and pleaded and all this kind of stuff. And you know, it's one of those things where sometimes you got to just let it go. You just walk away from it and you focus on you and you deal with life. You know what I mean? You do what you got to do. And look, if you're still young, so it's like you can find a guy, you know what I mean? You can still find a great guy. You can still find somebody out there. Like, don't get discouraged off of dating and off of guys and stuff just because your dude happened to be gay. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I don't necessarily think it was you or anything that you did. It was just the fact that he's always been gay, and that's just what it's been. You know, like, I think it was a thing where he tried his hardest, you know, to be straight. He tried his hardest to really lean into this lifestyle. And I just don't think that he could. I don't think that his life or his wants and desires and, you know what I mean, his true self, if you will, could hold on any longer. He just looked at it like, dude, I am a gay man. This is just who I am. And I think he went for a transgender woman because of what I explained earlier, is the fact that he has the guise of a straight relationship while behind closed doors, he's in a gay relationship, you know, and that's just the way it is. That's the way it comes down a lot of times. Like, I've noticed, especially, you know, in the 2020s and nowadays, like, there's a lot of gay dudes that, you know, they'll get married and have kids and do all this with women. And, you know, then they just realize that they're gay and they're like, man, I want to be with a man. I want to be with a transgender woman. I want to, you know, explore my gay options or just whatever it may be for that individual. And so, you know, and even starting this show, like I started the show in 2023. So, you know what I mean? That's why I say really in the 2020s is where like a lot of this has been happening, where you start to notice this a lot more, where gay dudes are just kind of popping up out of nowhere, man. These motherfuckers are just popping out of the goddamn woodwork and you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy because they're coming out of a lot of marriages and a lot of, you know what I mean, like long-standing relationships with women where they have kids and all this stuff. So again, it's one of those things where it was nothing to do with you. I think, you know, you're still a perfect girlfriend. You're still great. You're still an awesome woman. All that good stuff. It's just the fact that he was gay. It is what it is. Like I said, you could go date, the next guy and stay, the same way that you are and, be that great girl that you were to, that dude. And that guy will definitely appreciate it and be there for you and all that good stuff, and everything will be great and hunky-dory. It's just the fact that he was gay. He was living a life that he felt was a lie, and with this transgender woman, he feels that he's living his truth, and that's just what it comes down to. That's how he feels in this situation. And, you just kind of have to accept it and move forward. You know what I mean? But you have to understand that it's not you. You're not the reason why this happened. He was finally accepting who he actually is, even though it took him as long as it did. Yeah, because dude's 27. So, it just took him a little longer to kind of accept what he is, because a lot of people do that. A lot of, guys, I don't know if girls do that, but I know a lot of guys, they fight, their urges of being homosexual, and they sit there and they're like, nah, this ain't me. Nah, I'm not that guy. No, I'm different, blah, 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 whatever it may be. And then they just get to a point where they're like, you know what? I'm accepted. I'm gay. And you see them on Grindr, or they're dating their gay coworker, or they find a transgender woman, whatever it may be. So it happens, man. It happens. But yeah, that's what I would say to that. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. All right. On to our next one. What do I do? Caught my boyfriend on the porch jacking it. Man, you leave him alone so he can get his nut. Like, what the fuck? Last night, my boyfriend was consistently going outside to smoke. I thought it was normal, but the amount of time it took him to smoke each time concerned me. Given the fact that it was raining and so cold, I got concerned when I checked the time, and he was outside for 25 minutes. So I went outside to check on him and see if everything was okay. I opened the door, and literally he had his dick out with porn playing on his phone. And I said, what the fuck, dude? And shut the door. We have neighbors, mind you. If they took a long look at our porch, they would have seen him. I just don't understand. I can make sense of him doing that in the bathroom, but I don't know. The entire situation is weird since he was consistently going out and taking a really long time to smoke. I've been with him for 5 years, and this has never happened once. He's 30 and I'm a 26 female. I just need some advice or something. I don't know. I mean, are you sexually satisfying this dude? Because to me, it just seems like he is doing this out of like understanding you're not always in the mood, or you don't really have that high of a sex drive, whatever it may be. Like, you're just not wanting to, fulfill him sexually. So I think he's got to do it on his own. Now, why he would be doing it on the porch, I don't know. That's a little crazy. And I don't know how you be beating your meat in that cold. Yeah, there's no way I could beat my meat in the cold, bro. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Some crazy work. But again, it's one of those things where I always give this advice to a lot of women where they look at it like their dude is either watching an excessive amount of porn, or their dude is jerking it all the time, or their dude is, just doing something. My thing is it probably comes down to you're not sexually satisfying him as much as you think that you are. And either that, or it's a thing where you've gotten so comfortable in the relationship that you stopped really trying to look attractive for him, or just even try to do things to kind of spark his sexual interest or desire. You know what I mean? I've always said it, like, it's very easy to walk around the house half butt naked. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody complaining about you walking around the house half butt naked. I ain't gonna lie to you. Or, you doing a little cosplay here and there, a little super short skirt, or, a little t-shirt panties action, whatever it may be. Like, doing these things is good. Doing these things kind of, gives him a reason not to jack it and to want to, be with you. And I do think that happens. Is like, a lot of times couples just they get so routined and so lazy, and to the point where they're just kind of like, it is what it is, and I'm too tired, I don't want to have sex, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, when it's like sex is a big part of a relationship whether you like it or not, and it doesn't matter who you are. Sex is going to be a big part of a relationship. I don't care if you're in a lesbian, a gay, or you're in a straight relationship. Doesn't matter. Sex is a big thing regardless. So it's like if you're not constantly trying to do little things here and there to keep your partner's sexual interest, then at the same time, it's like, what's the point? They're going to just find other ways to sexually satisfy themselves. And that's why he's going out on the fucking thing, watching Bonnie Blue get her butthole stretched out while he's stroking his meat in the rain. Like, Like, come on, think about it. So it's just one of those things where it's like, maybe try to, look a little sexy around the house every once in a while. Now, look, I get it. Some people don't have the luxury of maybe living by themselves. Maybe you have kids, whatever it may be, and I understand that. But that's why you just kind of keep it to the confines of the room, Say he's out watching some TV or whatever. You know what I mean? Put a little sexy number on, get in the bed, text that nigga, hey, come to the bedroom. And then he comes to the bedroom, he opens the door, and he's like, what are you? Oh. Sup? So we doing this, you know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, we doing this. Get over here and give mama some dick. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like these kind of things go a long way, especially for a guy. And we're easy to please. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, you ain't gotta do much but just be dressing skimpy. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? Walk around with shorts, that got your ass hanging out the bottom or something. Like, let's go, baby. You know what I mean? Wear a little skimpy something helps. Or just go the easy route and do a t-shirt and panties. It doesn't matter. Dudes are easy, do stuff to be attractive to your guy. And that might fix the issue, because a lot of guys that are doing this, that's the reason why. It's because their girl ain't really trying to do things to kind of just be attractive for them. They'll do it in the beginning of the relationship and it gets the guy super excited and, oh yeah, oh my girl's so hot and I love it. Oh yeah, she a little freak a leak and this and that. And then, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, she gets comfortable and doesn't really do those things anymore. And then it's just like, great pajama girl again. Great messy bun. And, it's just like, give them a reason to, be attracted to you, to want to do those things. All right. But you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. All right. Okay. What do I do? Is my boyfriend entitled to all my nudes? I would say so. That's your man. But let's see what's up. I, 27 female, have recently encountered an issue about my boyfriend, 34 male, not having every nude I have on my phone. He has all the ones from when we got together and forward. He's seen one from before we got together, and now he feels like he should have them all and that I should have already sent them. Am I wrong for not having sent them already? Yeah, I would say so, because what's the harm? You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's like, hello, those are my nudies. Hello, those are my nudie pictures. Like, you should have been sent me those. Like, what we talking about here? Like I would want my girl's previous nudies. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit regardless if she sent them to other dudes or whatever it may be. Like, that was before we were together, so it is what it is. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I would want to see that. Like, why not? Like, what the fuck, man? It makes me feel like you hiding some shit, or you hiding out on me, or you're holding out on me. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck, man? But at the same time, it also sparks a situation where it's just like, okay, are these pictures new or are these old? Like, you know what I mean? Has another guy seen some shit that I haven't seen? So, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, it does spark a little bit of like, how would you say? A little bit of curiosity. I don't want to say distrust too much, but sometimes it can prop up a little bit of distrust because it's just like, why haven't you sent those to me? Like, what's the reason? What's the point? Why, do you have those pictures still? I would think that, if you had nudes from like previous relationships or whatever, you would kind of delete them just because you're like, I know what those came with. But still, it's like, if you still have them, yeah, you should send them to your dude. Why not? What's the harm in it? That's how I see it. I look at it like, what's the harm in it? Having your man see old nudes or whatever. Like, and yeah, I would think he's entitled to them because you guys are together, right? You're entitled to his dick pics. Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck? I'm just saying. Like, come on now. Yeah, like I said, I think he's entitled to him, and you need to send him to him. All right, you guys, let me know what you think about that one. Oh. Okay, should I shave my butt for a work trip?
Bruh. What did he say?
You are gonna do what now? You're gonna do what now? Okay. This episode has probably been one of the juiciest episodes we've done so far. Jesus Christ. Okay. I have a business trip coming up. And I am dreading it because I won't have access to my bidet. My butt is extremely hairy, especially around the exit. And I spent much of my younger years going through half a roll of TP and then having to work around with a vague whiff of what toilet paper just wasn't good enough to eliminate. This all changed when I got a bidet, and it's been smooth sailing since. But now I need to travel on a 5-day business trip, and I'm stressing out about it. Would shaving my butthole even help with my problem? Should I do it? From my limited research, it can make walking uncomfortable as my cheeks rub together, but that seems like a worthy trade. Bro, all right, man. As a fellow hairy buttholian, it ain't that hard, my guy. It ain't that hard to wipe your ass. Okay? It's not. And if you are shitting so bad to the point where you can't clean your booty hole with a couple wipes, son. Like, for me personally, it takes like 3 wipes to clean the butthole. I wipe, fold, chillin', done. I'll be all right. I'm straight after that. You know what I mean? As a fellow hairy buttholian. But bruh, the fact that you are wiping to using half the roll, my guy, what is coming out your back end? Because you must have some monster dirty shits for you to be wiping that much and it not get clean? Bruh, either that or you not wiping correctly. Are you getting up in there? Are you not sticking a finger and just getting up in there, bro? Like me, I be getting up in there. I be making sure that shit is clean, son. I wipe and I get up in there. I be up in the hole. I be right around the ring. Like, bruh, you gotta get up in there. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? That's some crazy shit. The fact that like it takes you half a roll to clean your ass. Like, that's wild. It shouldn't take more than 4 wipes to get your ass clean. That's some crazy work. You must have some just absolutely diabolical shits. Because, bruh, there ain't no way. Hey. I mean, shave your ass if you want to, bro, but if I'm being honest with you, man, I don't think you wiping as thoroughly as you should be. You got to get up in there, bro. If you're going to use some toilet paper, you got to get up in there, man, and wipe that motherfucker. Like, y'all is crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then I'm a rage bait y'all a little bit. I'm a stand-up wiper. All right? Proud stand-up wiper. Fuck y'all that be sticking your hand in that doo-doo bowl and fucking wiping your ass. That's nasty, son. That is nasty. Y'all be sticking y'all hands in that doo-doo bowl to wipe your booty. Nah, bro. Nah. I stand up and I proudly wipe my ass. Y'all are crazy. Okay? I thought I'd throw that out there because I'm probably going to get that in the comments, you know? Oh, shit. You guys let me know what you think. No pun intended on that one. All right, this is going to be our last one for today's episode. You got this far in the episode, man. Love you, appreciate you. Thank you for all the good shit. Thank you for supporting. This has been a juicy episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as I have, man. Goodness. All right, on to our next one. Am I the asshole for getting with a friend after girlfriend dumped me? I mean, no. Psst, there's grass on the field, baby boy. Play. Yeah, I mean, all right. Me 20, girlfriend 19 of almost a year dumped me. It started about a couple of months ago when I asked her if she could reciprocate and put in more effort in our relationship. We both work all the time and we live together, so we see each other every day. It's been kind of like that towards the end of our relationship. I 100% understand that life gets in the way and we get too busy to tend to our loved ones. All I wanted was for us to rekindle and spend more quality time together. During our conversation about this topic, it got really emotionally heated. And as much as I fought hard for what we had, we both decided that this wasn't good for us anymore. The same day we broke up, I had to work a full 10-hour shift that day. Let me tell you that working with a broken heart is something I would never wish upon my worst enemies. Facts, bro. Facts. Oh, man. I remember when I went to work one day, and before I went to work, I was literally driving to work, and I got a text message. You know what I mean? It's that dreaded let's talk or we have to talk text message. And so then I parked my car. I had like 15 minutes before I clocked in. Called her. Yo, what's up? What's going on? This and that. Oh, I'm just not feeling this relationship anymore. I've been fighting this for a long time and I just feel like I just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And your boy was absolutely devastated. I walked around that bitch like a goddamn robot. I just knew what work I needed to do, and I just did it with the most monotone face possible. I didn't talk to nobody unless I had to talk to them. Oh, it's the worst, bro. The worst. Man, I feel you on that one, my guy. Mind this, my car has been in the shop for 2 weeks, and I have been depending on my girlfriend for rides to work and back. As I'm getting off my shift, I had trouble looking for a ride home until my friend texted me and I asked her for a ride. When I got into the car, she noticed that I was a little down and asked what's wrong. I pretty much told her the whole spill and ended up hanging out after work. And man, she was a great listener and an amazing person, hands down. And I had a great time, so we sat in the parking lot after getting food and just talking, and out of nowhere, she pulled me in for a kiss. Uh-oh. Okay. And we made out. I felt seen and cared for during the whole time we hung out, and I honestly felt good about it in the most strangest way. It was wrong for me to feel that way. It's almost as if I had a sense of guilt. Even though me and my girlfriend broke up, I felt terrible for how I felt. After a couple of days, we kind of started talking to each other. I did mention that I am not ready to start anything for a while, and she was pretty respectable about it. We have been flirting with each other, but mind that I am still living with my ex-girlfriend. Ooh, tough one. Earlier this afternoon, she went through my phone as I was taking a nap and read all of our messages and got extremely upset at me. That is crazy. Like, bitch, we are not together anymore. The fuck are you going through my phone for? Like, who do you think you are? That's crazy. Understandably so. If I were her, I would be too. But I can't get rid of the nagging since that I did something wrong. Bro, you didn't do anything wrong. What the fuck are you talking about? I completely feel like a terrible person for how that made her feel. My friends have been telling me that I didn't do anything wrong and that it was fine because she had already ended things. Please be totally honest. Could I have gone about this another way? Should I have not done what I did? Am I the asshole? Fuck no. You're not the asshole. And honestly, you went about it the way that you should have gone about it. Look, bro, it's her fault. You want to know why she's upset? She's upset because she realizes that another girl can make you happy that's not her. She's upset at the fact that there's another woman out there that is willing to give you what she didn't want to. She's upset at the fact that she gave up a good guy that she knows is a good guy and she completely fucked up. All right? She's not upset at the fact that, you know, she found these messages and that you did something wrong. Nah, bro. Nah. Cope like a motherfucker. What she is upset at is the fact that there is another woman out there willing to give you what she was giving you, and she's willing to probably do even more, if I'm being honest with you. And she's upset at that, and she's mad at that, she's jealous at that, you know what I mean? And she thought that, oh yeah, no, I'm going to break up with him and make him miserable. Oh, I've talked about this in previous episodes where, you know, when women break up with dudes, man, they just want them to be fucking miserable. And when they're not, bro, they will do anything and everything to make sure that they are miserable. Don't let this bitch make you miserable, bro. What I would have done if she would have been upset at me, I'd have been like, okay, be upset. The fuck? You broke up with me. So don't be mad that there's some other girl that's willing to do what you're not willing to do anymore. Like, bitch, bye. And don't go through my phone, bruh. I would have changed my password immediately. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Who are you? You're nobody to me, bro. You broke up with me. I loved you. I cared about you. I wanted to be with you. I chose you. I woke up and wanted to be with you. I woke up and loved you every day. You woke up and decided not to love me. You woke up and decided not to choose me. You woke up and decided I wasn't the one for you anymore. Like, don't try to flip this on me. So no, you didn't do anything wrong, for being honest with you. And if anything, get you some motherfucking coochie by this girl, man. And I'm telling you, give her the best dicking of her goddamn life, son. And that way when your ex hears about it, she's going to be like, damn, I used to get that dicking. You know, I used to get that good guy. I used to get that dude that was there for me and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, man, that's what it is. That's why she's upset. That's why she's mad. Because she's realizing what she lost. She's realizing that she's losing a good dude, that she broke up with a motherfucker that, you know, is him. Like, let's be honest. Hey, man, I'm going to give you flowers when you deserve them. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. And so don't ever let her make you feel like that, because she broke up with you, you know, and don't get back with her or nothing like that. Don't let her sweet talk you. None of that bullshit. Nah. You know what I mean? It's a thing where what you do is you tell her no. No, you made your bed. Now you lay in it. You made your bed. Now you lay in it, sweetheart. This is what you wanted, and now I'm giving you what you want. You don't like that I'm giving you what you want, and that makes you upset. But too late. I was there for you. I loved you. I cared about you. I wanted to be with you. But you didn't care. You weren't there for me when I needed you. You weren't there for me when I was at my lowest. I had to go to work 10 hours like a zombie, you know what I mean? Because you broke my heart. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So, like, no, I'm telling you, fuck her, bro. She doesn't deserve anything. She doesn't even deserve an explanation. If she's going to find women in your phone, you just be like, okay, and? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't have to explain nothing to you, you know? And your friends are right. Your friends are right. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do a goddamn thing wrong. And I'm sure everybody listening right now would actually agree with me and your friends. You know, so you guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments, as well as everything we've gone over today. W episode. Thank you guys so much. I believe this is going to be the last week for King of Wrath. And then the next week we will be doing a new book. Okay, so I think next week on Thursday we're going to be doing a new book. We'll finish up King of Wrath on Thursday. So hopefully you guys enjoy all of that. Love you guys. Patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Podcast. Exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show like these lovely people did for today. And yeah. We did finish Hooked as well, all that good stuff. So I think Sundays will go back to regular scheduled programming. I do have some guest episodes lined up in the next upcoming weeks, so look out for those. That's going to be kind of fun. And yeah, that's going to be it for you, boy. I love you guys all, and peace.